Mm-hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Very interesting. But why? That is the question that most people are asking when it comes to the Pixel 10. So in this quick video, I am actually going to explain to you guys a thought that I've had looking at the specifications of the cameras of the Pixel 10, kind of like thinking to myself, why did they downgrade it? Because if you didn't know, the camera sensors are downgraded from the Pixel 9. So why? Well, some people think that they downgraded the size of the camera sensors on the Google Pixel 10 because of adding a telephoto sensor. But that doesn't just sit right with me, to be quite honest with all of you guys. So I've just been sitting here kind of just thinking to myself about it, and I came up with a possibility as to why they downgraded the camera sensors on the Pixel 10 from the Pixel 9. So stay with me on this brief explanation and hit the like button as well as the hype button to help get this video circulated some more so more people can hear what I got to say on it, because this might be a little interesting. So if you're someone who has the Google Pixel 9, you've been taking photos with it, you've noticed that your photos have been crisp and nice looking, shadows are replicated good, detail is in the shots, and so, you've always pretty much gotten used to taking a photo that just looks amazingly good. But then you just got your Pixel 10 yesterday or today, and you went outside and you started snapping some photos, and you're like, wait a minute, what's happening here? Did they downgrade the cameras? Absolutely, they did. If you look at the specifications, yes, you'll know it is a smaller sensor. Besides the fact that it went from a 50 megapixel down to a 48 megapixel main camera shooter, the sensor size also went down and size. And I don't think it has to do with the fact that they added a telephoto lens to the Pixel 10. See, that's one of the things that they wanted to kind of wow a lot of us with, right? Was that now we weren't just with a main sensor and an ultra wide sensor on the base model. Now we can say we got 3 sensors just like the Pro models. And so, of course, that's going to be gift of gab when it comes to talking about the Pixel 10. And I know a lot of people that got the Pixel 10 are going to make mention of the new telephoto lens added in for a 3 sensor setup. But I don't think it's the telephoto that made the decisioning for the sensor to be smaller, because if you look at the Pro models are able to fit 3 sensors in there without a problem at all. Same camera bar. So I kind of dismissed that they added a telephoto sensor, so they made the main sensor smaller, because then that won't account for the specifications as why the Pro model has the 50 megapixel shooter, the 48 megapixel shooter, and another 48 megapixel shooter. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't compute. Not computing. So here's what I think the reason why they did it. And it has to do with what we just mentioned. They gotta sell Pro models. If they gave us like every bit of the same camera sensors as the Pixel 10 Pro XL, right? For example, then what would be the reasonings to buy the Pixel 10 Pro? Right? Because then really it would just be getting the Pixel 10 or getting the Pixel 10 XL. It'd be going back to the days of that, right? The 10 XL, right? Like the 4 XL and the 3 XL, yada, yada, yada. So there has to be a reasoning for you to spend the extra cash to get the Pro model, and there you have it. If you had a Pixel 9 and you're looking to upgrade and you notice that the camera specs for the Pixel 10 is slightly a downgrade from your current Pixel 9, well, then that just basically has you having eyes to look at the Pro model to get similar camera sensors as what you're used to having before, shooting better photo qualities. And yeah, there's a reasoning why you would get a Pixel 10 Pro. Now, if you're somebody that's coming from a Pixel 7, Pixel 8 to a Pixel 10, you're not really going to notice this all too much because, yeah, you didn't have the 9. So you weren't taking photos with the 9. And yeah, you're not going to notice the subtle differences, especially when you zoom in on photo comparisons between the 9 and the 10. At least I'm thinking that's the reasoning that they did this. I don't think it has anything to do with adding a third sensor. They've been able to do that with the previous Pixel 9 series. I just think it just has to do with the fact that they got to have a reason why some people are going to want to choose the Pro model over the base model. And that's one way of doing it, since majority of everything of AI is pretty much baked into all 3 phones. Maybe there might be some minor limitations between the base and the Pro models, but I think majority of it, to justify the reasoning of a Pixel 10 Pro, is the camera sensors, which is why we can boast about having 3 camera sensors now on the base model Pixel. At the same time, It's not 100% full all gas, no brakes to celebrate because the 10 Pro's got better sensors.